First of all, welcome everybody on board. We have 53 people tuning in at the moment all around the world. So thank you for joining in. Thank you for everybody's time in this matter. And especially the panelists that we have. Can everybody hear me good? Good, thumbs up, thumbs down, all good and over there. All right. Live knowledge drop by bboydojo.com. Issuing Black Heritage of Hip Hop with Macca, Box One, Machine, and Bravemonk as the honored guest today. All right. So we are all here to discuss the importance of Black heritage in hip hop, and we can galvanize together as a community for Black lives that are systematically oppressed, and ways that individuals can support the cause. The chat is going to be open throughout the whole session. The whole session is going to be around 90 minutes in total if we stick to the script and the schedule. So chat is open for anybody who's tuning in. I'm going to be turning the mics off for everybody else except for the panelists, just so everybody knows. So please type into the chat where you're tuning in from so we get an idea who's in the house and where you're tuning in. And also another question that I want to address, that what do you guys want to learn from today's panel discussion? And you can post questions throughout the session as well that are going to be addressed throughout the call. Shout out to Eric from the team who's been a leading force in facilitating the whole thing. Much respect. We're going to read through some of the rules and expectations in the conversation so everybody's on the same page. All right. So first of all, this is a public discussion, not a debate. The purpose is not to win an argument, but to hear many points of views and explore many options and solutions. So everyone is encouraged to participate. You may be asked to share what you think, or we may ask for comments from those who haven't spoken. It's always okay to pass when you're asked to share a comment. And that's it. 3, no one or two individuals should dominate the discussion. If you have already voiced your ideas, let others have an opportunity so everybody gets their share. When you speak, be brief and to the point, because in Zoom we know that sometimes short things might take 2 or 3 times the time. 4, listen to and respect other points of view. 5, seek first to understand and not to be understood. Ask questions to seek clarifications when you don't understand the meaning of someone's comments. And lastly, criticize ideas and not individuals. Let me introduce the people who's on board today. Or actually, you can introduce yourself. We're going to start with Box One. Let's go.
What up? Peace, everybody. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Yeah, my name is Box One. Real name is Ben. What up? I'm 27 years old from Philadelphia, PA. I've been breaking for 11 years. And, yeah, I'm just happy to see such a great turnout. People are invested in the community and like what's happening right now at large. So, yeah, thank you for tuning in.
Fresh. Next up, we got Macca. Let's go.
Let me unmute myself. What's up, everybody? It's Macca. Machine, mute your sound when you're not talking. There we go. Yeah, as everybody, well, yeah, Macca, B-Girl Macca. I've been breaking for about 15 years now. Going on 16 soon. I'm in Atlanta right now, represent Philly. Grew up in Germany, Philly, Atlanta, that's all me. Represent Monster Energy, 360 Flavor, and Guerrilla Tactics. Really excited to be here. So excited to get this discussion going and to get some more awareness going and some solutions as well for everybody to partake in and help the cause. So yeah.
Great, pleasure to have you. All right, Machine, you're next. Let's go.
Yo, this boy Machine, representing the world. From Rockforce crew, LODB. Been breaking now 33 years from the West Coast. Lived Midwest, down South. So I've been around a while. Just short and sweet.
Short and sweet. All right, and last but not least, and also a person who's going to be creating the talk, Bravemonk, let's go.
Peace, y'all. Bravemonk, residing from Chicago, Illinois. Artist, dancer, performer, choreographer, dance educator. Representing Phase 2 Crosstown Crew. Also co-founder of Brave Soul Movement. 39, currently 39 years old. Dancing since I was 3, focused on breaking for the last 22 years.
Amazing, yes. So again, thank you everybody in the panel for your time and your energy to be here. I know it's difficult times and that makes it even more special for us and for the scene that you take the time to share. And we know with Bboy and Bigger Dojo, we're not the ones to speak on the matters. So with that in mind, I'm going to pass the mic to Bravemonk, who's going to take the lead in discussion. I'm going to mute myself and listen and learn. All right.
Cool. All right. So let me kick it off like this. And then the way that I also know whoever wants to take the question or to answer the question being presented, you can just unmute and start talking, or you can also raise your hand, but we're just gonna go with the flow. All right, so obviously we know that there's a lot going on right now, and this to me is really important, allowing black voices to really take the floor. And I just really want you guys to really be open to hear from these perspectives. I think it's important that we use our assets and resources to combat racism in all aspects of society, especially in the law enforcement. So we know that this is a continual process, and this will be something that will continue to go on. But I really want to recognize that right now is really a hard time for everybody, but especially Black folks. And with that being said, I want to pose this question to the panelists. What are some feelings about everything that's going on, and what are you doing to take care of yourself, your personal well-being?
Okay, ladies first, I guess. So, I mean, for me, it's multiple things, in terms of my feeling about everything that's going on, because it's been something that's, has been going on for a very, very long time, so it's multiple ways of draining, because it's been going on for a really long time. People, even though the fight for awareness has been going on forever, since the injustices, specifically towards Black people, have been made, the fight for bringing awareness and bringing change has been going on day one, but it's also finally, it's a great feeling in a sense of the different amount of awareness for myself that I feel like that has come about, even though it's long overdue. And it's also sad that, that something had to happen to George Floyd, for that to actually happen. Even though, within these last few months, it's, it hasn't just been George Floyd, it's been Ahmaud, out here in Georgia, where I'm at. It's been Breonna Taylor, so it's been actually quite a few people, that have obviously experienced this. just within, within the last few months that we know about because of the awareness that it has brought. So outside of that, it's, people are experiencing this on a day-to-day basis, that we don't even know about, So, so there's that feeling of feeling drained. There's that feeling of feeling, finally, there's a feeling, for me, there's a feeling of feeling, but the feeling of, how long will this last? How long will this awareness last? How long will people speak about it? Will it stop next week? Will it stop within a month? Will it stop, within a year, So because that has been the case in the past, so that's why I feel but I also feel like there's something different about this time, specifically because we're also dealing with, COVID, this whole world pandemic that's happening. There's different elements that are going on that make it such a special, specific time right now. And where it feels like this could be actually different than how it was before, So this could be the actual turning point for longevity, like work and work of awareness and work of actually putting in action to make change, that's not just put on Black people, that's put on white people and non-Black people of color to really take it to the next level of doing their part as well. So I feel like I'm in all of those spaces of thoughts with this right now. And within all of that, I'm trying to figure out how to still, take care of myself as well, right? So, and which right now is, because it's such a specific and special time, it feels hard, honestly, to know how to just continue with self, not self, self healing and self, and just, self-care, exactly. So, so I'm still figuring that out, to be honest, because it's hard. Like for me, it feels like, even though activism has always been something that's a part of me, it's this right now feels so different, so it feels like there's constantly work that needs to be done right in this moment to, to keep that awareness going and to not let people just fall back off. But, within the Black Panther movement, it's self-care was always a high, something that was high on the agenda for us, to make sure we are right, within ourselves so we can continue to do the work, continue to add to the movement. So, I mean, I definitely think it's something that's so important. And yeah, and I guess I'm trying to take it day by day to continue to figure that out as well, so, but that's where I'm at. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Truly appreciate your share.
I'll follow up next on that. First of all, I just want to celebrate her explanation because she really hit everything nail on the head, covered all the bases, you know what I mean? That's why she's Macca. But so with that said, I'll just talk about my personal feelings on the matter. Honestly, I'm a bit numb to it because again, as a Black man growing up in America, I understand that this is the playing field that I live in. You know what I mean? I was told at 8 years old, the do's and don'ts of getting involved with the cops, the do's and don'ts of how society's gonna view you, how they're gonna treat you. You have to be better than good just to be even, you're not valued at the same level. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said, I'm just a little bit numb to it because I'm aware of it. I do feel those feelings of joy just because of the global response that we've seen. Now there's people, more willing to listen. We have the eyes and the ears of the people. And, I feel like that's a very great thing. And, even with platforms like this, contributing to that conversation, some of these people in this room I've never seen before, probably would never talk to. But now we get to have that conversation from a firsthand account. Yeah, so some things I've been doing take care of myself is I've just been staying vigilant with media. You know, I've been making sure that like I share the reality, you know, because everything is always perspective. And I feel like that's what leads people to get lost, because they're just like, oh, well, you know, we only see the video of the cops beating them. We don't know what they did to the cops. And it's like, yo, we've been telling y'all for over 100 years, like, cops been beating us and mistreating us. And, you know, put it to you like this, Trayvon Martin got murdered in 2012. Like, it's 2020 now, and it's like, it's still on the news, it's still in our face, you know. Now, like Macca said, with COVID and everybody being so locked in and so open to information, you know, we have the eyes and ears. So, you know, I've just been staying vigilant, sharing the media, sharing the truth and the reality, and just, you know, educating people on ways to handle it, you know. So yeah, that's my bit.
Thank you, brother. Really appreciate that. Sharing a lot of those same sentiments. Machine, you wanna?
Well, I would say for me, it's been a lot of mixed feelings. I'm international right now, so I'm watching everything from over here, where how can I say, some people get it and don't get it twisted. Just real quick, the same thing that's going on over there is going on over here. They have Black man brutality from Casas being done right here in France. They're fighting one of the same cases of the dude, one guy that was from France that got stood on his neck the same exact way and everything, just like George. My feelings on it, I feel just like, kind of like what Bach said, you know, I'm numb to it. I'm flaming inside. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm upset because this is the same thing I saw in 91. I'm 38. I saw this. I saw it on TV. You know, I saw the streets. I saw how everything went down. And it's still here. It didn't change. You know, we were talking about in one of our other conversations where it said, we've been dealing with this for 400 years. It's been dealing with this way longer than 400 years. If we're still here doing this now, you know, but I'm glad that the world is awakening to this now because of it. You know, it's been a long time coming, you know, but we have to be smarter with our moves now. Anybody, all of us, we have to be smarter with the moves that we make. You know, it can't be like what we did in 91, because all they're gonna do is
Your connection is breaking
up by cops because they ripped up a wall.
Okay, you're back.
My connection's breaking up?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they ripped up a Walgreens, you know, and it's expected, because what else do these people have? What else do they show? You know, what else do the Black community show? You know what I'm saying? Really right now, you know, as peaceful as any of Dr. King was or anything like that, Dr. King still got busted in the head for being peaceful. Gandhi still got killed. To now strength and show how powerful, because we're not going uptown. Let's just say that. We're not going to City Hall. We scared to cross those lines, to keep it honest. Before they let those cross those lines, they send in the National Guard, give y'all curfews again. So you lock right back up again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So all this has to have more solutions and more smarter solutions that could be, you have to beat out people with words. You want to beat power, you got to beat them with words. You know what I'm saying? But I understand the frustration. I understand the people in the street, you know what I'm saying, that's protesting. I understand this because I understood it then when I was 8 years old. I had to explain this to my 8-year-old yesterday about what's going on, just like I was explained to me by my parents. And that's what really pisses me off. My daughter's standing there and she's like, yo, what is going on? Why are they doing this? And I'm like, baby, you know, like, people are fed up. This is one of the reasons why I left Los Angeles. I got a gun pulled on me by a cop with my daughter in the car over late registration because I was just coming back into the country and didn't even know, and had to tell this guy that I had my daughter in the car. So I've dealt with this just like multiple Black men. And when does it stop? When? You know, when does it stop? How do we stop it? You know, what are some things that we can be doing instead of looting the streets, tearing up our own neighborhoods? You know.
Well,
that's my take.
Word. Is it what are you doing to take care of yourself, your personal well-being?
What am I doing right now? Man, as much as I can really right now, I'm trying to dance off my frustration.
You cut out again. But, okay, cool. All right.
Day. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm in this, you know what I'm saying, doing my boxing lessons. I'm gonna take my mind into something else positive. I'm not drinking, or I'm just like, you know. And so, you know, I'm trying to stay positive as I can, but I'm also trying to get with people like this and figure out solutions, and also talk about it, talk about how it feels. You know what I'm saying? Because some people don't know. Some people think like in my life, you know, like, oh, it's just party, I'm breaking, I'm traveling, I'm doing this. But no, man, I deal with Black issues everywhere. When I go through airports, when I pull out my passport, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say this word, a nigga ain't supposed to have a passport. They don't even do that in America. You gotta pay to have a passport. Everywhere else in the world, you get a passport once you're born. So it's a lot of change. It's a lot of change that needs to happen in a lot of different ways. You know, so that's like I said, that's my take. That's how I feel on it. And I'm sitting there boiling right now. I'm trying to just control my words because I want to fly off the handle really right now.
I feel you.
I really do. I've seen my dad get his ass whooped by cops. I've seen my uncle get his ass whooped by cops. Man, I've seen all this shit. I've seen this. I've been roughed up by cops. My brother. I don't know, man.
It's your truth. It's our truth, you know. So it's important. And I'm going to shift a little into, you know, I want to know what Black voices and aspects of history are present movements that you see happening right now. Do you want to lift up? What Black voices, aspects of history are present movements? Do you just want to hold up and lift up, highlight, and celebrate?
I mean, for me, it's always absolutely, you know, I always hear from elders as well, but you know, the younger generation, I just especially want to lift up the younger movement generation that's going on right now. And that's, that always has been going on. May have been, you know, in the 30s, 40s, and the 50s, 60s, you know. The younger generation has always been the ones to push further and to take it further. Within that, I also especially have to lift up the voices of Black women within those movements, because a lot of times they get overlooked. They don't receive as much attention. I mean, we can kind of see it, you know, especially when the police brutality is done towards Black women. There's sadly not as much of an outrage as there is for Black men, which is absolutely justified for the outrage for Black men. Absolutely. We just also need to have that same energy for Black women as well. and Black women are always at the forefront of these movements for a very, very long time, you know, and organizing, and also within education and educating. Like, there's so much work that has been done by Black women. Also within that, I have to lift up the voices of the Black LGBTQ community as well. That's always been part of Black liberation as well, and civil rights movements and such, you know, and those voices are marginalized voices, you know, within the community as well. So I want to lift those up, and as well as Black trans voices as well, because we've seen cases like Nina Pop, we've seen cases like Tony McDade recently as well, dealing with, you know, police brutality and also just crime and murders that get, you know, looked over, and that do not receive the attention that they deserve as well. So yeah, so I want to lift up those voices, because throughout history, they have always been a part of the movement, of grassroots movement, of civil rights, and, you know, those liberation movements as well. So those are the voices that I'm lifting up.
Word.
I'll come at this from a few different angles. So as far as voices in liberation, you know, I'll agree with Macca and say like the LGBTQ community. You know, I feel like there's a lot to learn from their organization and how they were able to get things put in policy and change policy so that they were recognized, you know, and given the right to live as who they are. Obviously, people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., obviously the Black Panther Party. Well, no, I'll say the Black Panther Party for the next category. Obviously Malcolm X, you know, you have those two contrasting ideals of, you know, nonviolent protest with Dr. King, and then you have By Any Means Necessary with Malcolm X. So I feel like there's a lot to learn from those two dynamics. You know, sometimes we kind of paraphrase things. We take the things in a synopsis. You know, we don't really look into like motivation behind it. You know, the outside information that's often overlooked. You know, from a tactical standpoint, from a militant standpoint, for people who demand what they want and they go about doing something, I would say the Black Panther Party, you know, was like the armed monitoring of police, you know, and how that made a change, how they tried to emulate, this wasn't their exact goal, but in my mind, it's like they emulated the Jewish community or the Asian community here in America, where they were creating communities that were self-sustained, you know, the breakfast program, you know. They understood that if a child goes to school with a full stomach, they're more likely to learn better, you know, the science behind it and everything. Someone else that's like not commonly known because he has a real fiery war tactic mind and rhetoric is somebody named Tariq Nasheed. I would definitely say look into him and the things that he has to say. He's a brother from LA. And then from an artistic education standpoint, I want to celebrate the artists that were trying to get the message to us back then, but you know, it kind of got drowned out in the mainstream because the mainstream wanted to push a message that would poison our youth and keep us locked in the mental prison that they wanted, that they created for us. You get what I'm saying? So people like Mos Def, Talib Kweli, Nas, The Roots, obviously. Shout out Philly. Yeah, those are the people I want to celebrate. I'm gonna type in the chat. I'm gonna type a Nas song that I want everybody to listen to, because I feel like even back in 2001, he was speaking on something that directly affects us now. So I would encourage everybody to listen to this song, understand the fact that this was 2001, and he's speaking about things that like we faced for years, and we've been trying to get the message out, but some people don't really listen. They just enjoy the beat and they want to move. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Word.
Who I would like to uplift, and we was talking about this earlier. I just think like some people, it's not even saying uplift. I feel like people that should actually take responsibility of a lot of this that's going on right now. And I'm gonna talk about 2 different times of music, just real quick, and the evolution of music and where music is. I think music should take a lot of responsibility in being uplifted because this is what everybody deals with, this is what everybody can relate to. Yet, this music is not being made. The artists need to take more control of what they're doing and what they're putting out now for awareness and solutions instead of bounce music or whatever, you know, or club music. I think that's one of the biggest things that I'm gonna uplift really right now is music, because that's what I deal with. This is what I have to portray. And at the time that this was going on in LA, the time that this was going on and we had riots then, we had artists that took time out of their busy life to get together and make a song that aware their whole neighborhoods all over the world about how they felt about this. I don't see anything of this happening really right now. I'm uplift Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. I'm uplift people like this because these people brought awareness to their people, not just through music, through their words. I want this thing to be known. We have to win with words. When we won before, we won with words. We didn't win just with just burning up shit or anything like that. But like I said, one of the things that really needs to be uplifted is change. And black communities seeing change, like real change. That should be uplifted from all communities. Seeing the change in the police department, seeing the change in the government, seeing the change in you know, our neighborhoods and what's being put there, our food, et cetera, like small businesses. These things should be uplifted. You know, that's going on. Short and sweet.
Cool. Thank you all for that share. Again, sharing a lot of those same sentiments and feelings. So I want to kind of continue. You mentioned something, Machine, talking about like the music, and you're not really, you know, there's some of that music that is being made, but it's not happening like it should be. You know, even seeing some of the comments of like some people who even disassociate themselves from hip hop now because they're not feeling like it represents the same thing it used to. It's different. Along that, you know, because we talk about the Black heritage of hip hop, I like to think of it as lineage, right? Like it's a continued thing because Black is still that main pulse. Can you share? Do you care to share any personal stories of erasure or suppression in general around, you know, Black heritage or voices within hip hop or society, you know?
Macca, you want to just keep going the way we're doing? Want me to go?
Yeah, you can go.
Yeah, she wants you to go.
Okay.
You're muted right now.
Unmute yourself, bro.
Okay.
Okay. Say that last part one more time.
I was saying, you want me to rephrase that question?
Yeah, just real quick.
Okay. Can you share any personal stories of erasure or suppression of Black heritage or voices within hip hop or society? I would say within hip hop, because
I mean, we can start from the root of like what, like Little Richard. We can start from, you know, from music in general. I mean, or anything. I mean, we can start from royalties, like we were saying earlier. You know, oh my God, there's so many outlines of this, man, where how can it say Black community's been taking losses, where I just would like to see more change or anything. It's so many that we could talk on. Everything that basically, you have to understand that the Black community were made to be nothing. And we came from that. We came from all those different things, from being called an animal or anything like that. So everything that we've actually ever created or anything like that has been taken or has been actually used better than us or anything like that. So, I mean, you could talk from hip hop to talk from soul to music in general, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's reparations and royalties that still haven't been paid out to people right now. I mean, I'll give you an example. I mean, I found out yesterday, Snoop Dogg don't even own his Doggy Style album, still after this day. Somebody else owns Snoop Dogg. As cool as it might be, you know what I'm saying? Just to use it as an example. I mean, from, you know, from Hollywood to, you know, to news stations, I mean, that was supposed to be being bought, television stations that's supposed to be bought by Black people. It's all around. It's as if you're going to really play a blind eye to it now or anything like that. People are more aware of or how to talk about things now. That's one thing that we can actually say about this society now. We have so much technology to spread, which we didn't have. You only saw it if you saw it back then. That's not the case no more. You can't just turn off the TV no more. You know? So, yeah.
Thank you. You spoke on a lot of stuff that, you know, again, sometimes these issues. Oh, Box, you want to jump in?
No, finish your thoughts. Go ahead.
I was saying a lot of things that just are kind of may happen that people don't speak about, or maybe they're really ignorant and don't know, or it goes unnoticed. But I appreciate you for bringing a lot of those things to the surface, just so everyone really sees and has an awareness that, you know, it exists and it's multiple. It's not isolated. It's happening in many different areas of our life.
Right, to pick up where Machine left off, and just to change the question a little bit. In hip hop, like, you don't really see too much suppression, like you see manipulation and people taking advantage of, but Black people will forever be the face of hip hop. You get what I'm saying? Because you can't, it's not gonna work any other way. But I will say that I see suppression in the media because of, you know, even we spoke on this like in the conversation where it's like, look at a movie like Step Up where Channing Tatum's the star, and all of these other dance films, you know, there's always these white people that are put as the protagonists, if that's the correct term. You know, they're the lead character. They're the one that's got the story of, oh, I was born in a shelter and da 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 da. You know, it's always kind of co-opting the history, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, to us, the people that know, we're aware of that, but then like to the young people that see that kind of, that twist their perspective from the door, you know what I'm saying? Even we can go into typecasting where, you know, Black people are just now getting their foot in the door where we can have representation in a adequate number. You get what I'm saying? There's always the token Black guy. That's why that's the term. You know, there could be a show with a white cast of 20 people and 2 Black characters, you know. And then even those characters are made out to be the villains and things like that. So there's suppression there, you know, that's like perception control. You know, we're always made to be seen as the villain, the person with no moral standing. You know, all of these different like negative traits are associated with us. And then just being somebody who travels globally, like, and I have this awareness, I pay attention, like, you know, there's a global anti-Blackness to where we're not, our women aren't deemed as beautiful or as attractive as the next women. You know, I go through these airports and I see all of these billboards and there's not one Black woman. You see what I'm saying? The standard of beauty is the lighter skinned woman. If you're darker skinned, you're kind of like pushed off to the side, you know? And yeah, even down to things like twerking, for example. You know, when Black women were doing twerking, they invented it. You get what I'm saying? When they were doing it, it was deemed ghetto. You know, when they had multicolored nails and they had multicolored hair, it was seen ghetto and unruly and unsightly. But now you've got whatever her name on Instagram getting 1 million views and teaching workshops, you know, doing the same thing. A girl from Poland or wherever, just, you know, profiting off of that shit. And I just feel like, excuse my language, I just feel like that narrative is just gotta go, you know, and that's the suppression that I see, you know, it's like a mind control thing. You know, and imagine just what that does to the youth if you only see yourself, the only character you can identify with is a villain. You know what I mean? Like, that's something we really need to address. So that's my answer.
I feel like just to add to that, sorry, Ben, but yeah, like I feel like the suppression is also more so maybe in terms of like inclusion issues, you know, within hip hop and in the breaking community, and you know, which we're like majority a part of. So like, you know, how the things that he was just saying, but just to go into that inclusion issue, like of you know, like that token, you know, Black person or whatever, but you know, in majority of events and studios, there not being, you know, any representation in terms of Black people, you know, on these judges panels, on, you know, in these studios teaching, and these big dance training events and such, you know. So it's and that's in there not being that space for us, you know, where we're not financially, you know, making or sustaining from that, you know. It's you know, either white people or, you know, non-Black people of color that are in those spaces taking up space, you know, and we don't receive that the equal amount in terms of that, you know. So so I feel like I feel like a lot of that is I feel like a lot of that has to deal with non-inclusion, you know. So and not aware of it, and that's where the awareness part, you know, is important for us to speak on those things. So they can then become aware of it, but then also the action needs to take place, you know. But yeah, that's just what I wanted to add to that.
Absolutely, 100. And so I think also moving towards action, right? And I want to just point out in box one, you mentioned that, you know, the kind of the white savior, you know, issue of like those narratives kind of infiltrating into the minds, and you know, it's everywhere. So, you know, reasons why films like Black Panther hit box office and smash because of that representation of having that other, even just a visual, and that's just a movie. You know what I'm saying? We're still working to make that happen in our current lived experience. So I think I want to.
I do want to celebrate. My fault, not to cut you off. I do want to celebrate and just point out the fact that that is why Black Panther was celebrated that much. You get what I'm saying? And I want to reiterate to everybody that's watching who might not understand why people were so hype about Black Panther. It's because of the fact that it was an all-Black cast and told a correct narrative. We were seen as the heroes. You get what I'm saying? Like, there was a token white guy in this situation. You get what I mean? Like, from the CIA, and you know the CIA has done numerous things to destroy the Black community. If y'all want to get into that conversation, you get what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah, just to make it clear, that's why they were celebrated that much.
Word. All right. Now, I think I'm going to kind of shape, because I think this one is going to be, like I said, this is a continuing conversation. These conversations need to continue happening. And this question I really want to ask, and I know this can probably go on for a while, and I want it to a little. No, I do. So, but I want to pose to you all as panelists and movers in your communities and our communities. How do we create, everyone? This goes out to everyone too. In the chat, you can comment, but I want to hear from you all specifically. How do we create racial equity in our community, right? And we know community can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So, to me, we can keep that isolar, or you can expand that beyond, you know, what it is in as far as if you identify as being hip hop or not. But how do we create racial equity? I'm gonna just say it in our lives. So you go where you want to with that.
I also feel that Machine should share his point. He had a really good point when we spoke about this earlier, and it kind of opened my eyes, because I didn't even understand the question myself until he gave his response to the question, and I was like, oh, okay, word. So I would definitely, Macca, if you want to go ahead and share that for the people, dog.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he touched on some of these things. I really want us to,
Just
we
real
really,
quick,
yeah.
I was going to say something. I really want to hear what Macca wanted really to say, because this was a subject that Macca really was touching on. This is what I wanted to hear from Macca really right now. So Macca, if you could please answer this one for me, like just pop it off for us, please.
Okay, let me pop it off, y'all. No, but really, I don't actually remember what I had to say. But
Go from the heart. You got it.
but yo, to be honest, yeah, I'm gonna be real with this, right? To be honest, for me, it's like that question when it's like, how do we dismantle white supremacy? Like, that's not on Black people. I'm sorry. Like, it's because it's not, I feel like it's just not, it's not we're not the ones that are doing this, So we're not the ones that like are making these structural racist like platforms are things for us to have such a hard time to overcome it, so honestly, like, in that sentiment, I'm not mad when we don't have the answer, because we're trying to do everything that we can do. But if the other side of the issue of the problem, which is, it's white structure, and it's the way things have been put in place. If they are not taking those steps to actually make the change, it's not like we're gonna keep talking, So honestly, I just in this sense, like this there's stuff that we as a people can always continue to do, is to step up to the plate to demand the changes that we want, of course, but as long as that other side is not making a change, is not putting forth the work, for them to receive those demands and for them to actually put forth the change, it's going to be a dead end in that sense, So in that sense, of course, like, I think, people, like what Focus is doing right now, but more people need to are put in action, and becoming aware and educating yourself, and holding those people that are higher up accountable to implement changes, to implement those things that will bring about racial equity, or and equality and such. So so again, to me, it's really it's not our job, to me, because it's just friggin', it's draining, because because if we're the only ones that are making that are trying to make those things happen, but it's not there's no change coming from the higher ups in this white society, or this white system, sorry, then there's not much that can happen, so so y'all need to make these changes, so that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Macca. Work and action stand out hard. Like, that to me really resonates, because words on paper are okay, but those are words on paper, and so when you talked about that action and just that work needing to happen, and it not being on our shoulders for that to happen, that's really asking everybody to be to do their part and be proactive, because you spoke on it. I don't need to say it. I'm agreeing with you, and I'm just saying those things really stuck out for me. Boxer Machine, y'all want to add to that?
Me on some G stuff, I'm gonna pass my turn, because like the queen has spoken. So
yes,
I'm rocking with Mock.
Machine, you good?
I'm just saying, just like Mock said, like straight up, and I'm just going to lean into that a little bit more, is I would like to see a lot more come from people that have higher voices than the people that we do see in the streets, you know, and us that live in the day-to-day life. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these millionaires, a lot of these actors and all these people that you have voices, they have big followings. They have people that follow these people. I want to see them take more, not to us, letting us know what their awareness is. I want them to take this to the justice system. I want to see them do this. You know what I'm saying? They're demanding this. Look, we're not going to do this. You know, I got a following of this. This is not going, we're not going to have this being done, you know, or anything like that. Seeing real change, like we were saying earlier, seeing real fucking change. You know, you freeing wrongful Black men and Black women, you know, for wrongful things. You know what I'm saying? You know, we seeing, you know, real things being done in our neighborhoods, black owned banks, you know what I'm saying, grocery stores, all these different things, you know what I'm saying? Like, the list can go on and on, man. But change, man, change. I'm saying that, you know what I'm saying? We have to do better. We already know what we're dealing with. We already know what's on the table.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I also I just want to throw in this, because when you were talking about Black owned banks and things of that sort, I think also that support of, you know, of those structures that are existing and people who are out here. I know
This is
Macca.
the other one. I'm sorry. This is the other one. I'm sorry, Brave.
No, you good.
Redlining. Let this be known. Let's talk about this real quick. Redlining. If you don't know about what redlining is, all right? Been dealing with redlining for all my life. All right. Let's not see this no more, where these things are being cut off from certain neighborhoods or certain certain places in the cities of Chicago, of Philly, of Los Angeles, all big cities, in the Fillmore, in the Bay Area where I come from, Sacramento. Redlining, man. This is a big thing that's just underlining, getting talked about. This is what I'm talking about. When we riding, we're redlining ourselves. If you're going to ride something, ride on the other side of town. Don't redline yourself. Nowhere in life. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Yeah, 100. Yeah, I mean, like I say, spot on. I really also, too, in that racial, helping to create the equity, I was speaking about supporting these structures that do exist, right? And I was mentioning that, Macca, I know you have something, I think, coming up later on, right, today, that I think is important. Like I said, this is a continued conversation, but it's conversation fueled. It's action needs to be the impetus of that. Action has to be at the root of all of this. We hope that this just isn't we've all been in panel discussions. We hope this isn't one of those situations where people come and they leave and they do nothing. It's important that all those tough, uncomfortable conversations with your family, with your significant other, with your so-called friends and people, that those conversations need to happen. And it's tough, but it's tougher for us. And it's, in order for this, it's systematic because it is structural. It's not just, systematic. We have to really work to dismantle it in a lot of different angles. So I want to uplift Macca, if you want to just share, because I think we all really need to.
Yeah. So in terms of what I have coming up, Bravemonk?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my thing, is that the awareness is a great part, but what comes after awareness, and after awareness, we need to take action, So I'm really just been really trying to focus on solutions, man, because I'm tired, but I also have to remind myself, man, like my ancestors been tired, so like I can't, I can't just be tired right now. I have to fight for these solutions and figure out ways to to add to this cause to make it better. But like specifically, you know, within our hip hop community and in the dance hip hop community as well. Like me and my sis Katrina, we have Guerrilla Tactics Production. We just been, you know, there like last week, you know, before bigger platforms started actually kind of speaking up in a sense, you know, there was a lot of silence, you know, and it was just frustrating to see that, you know, it's still a lot of silence now, but you know, more people have started to speak up. But it was just frustrating seeing that, you know, so we were just like, yo, we need to do a day of action to, you know, not just speak on the awareness, but to actually take action, you know? So, and this is not for Black people to have to take action. It's for people, non-Black people of color and white people within the community that benefit off of Black culture, but aren't doing anything, for them to take action. So, so we also, you know, wanted to use a platform that basically has a lot of engagement and that people, you know, that has a big following, so we can reach those numbers, you know, and reach the mass in that way. So we're doing it as a National Day of Action that's happening today, 5 p.m. Eastern, on Stance's Instagram. And it's organized by Katrina and myself, and we actually also, so the important thing of this is that we have guests on it that are representing different cultures and backgrounds for allyship, you know what I mean? And allyship is obviously, you know, goes deep in terms of what real and true allyship is, you know? But we chose them because they've shown consistency in terms of allyship, you know? And for people to be able to relate to that and understand what it means to be real ally, and what it means to, as an ally, to do the work on your behalf, so it's not just falling on us, on Black people, on us. So we're having that live, and in that live stream on Stance, we'll actually go through the actual steps, or they will. I'm just hosting it, you know, because I'm not doing the work in that sense. They are doing the work, you know? So they're gonna go through the actual steps with y'all on how to sign a petition, on how to call your elected official and hold them accountable, you know? And this is specifically in terms of, you know, police brutality. And today, rest in peace, Breonna Taylor, whose birthday it is today. She would have been 27 years old today. So we're gonna uplift her and do the call for action for the elected official for her. Marlon is gonna speak about allyship, you know, so Bboy Marlon of Havakoro Crew. And then Katrina and I are gonna just end it off, and she's gonna speak on the long-term involvement of an ally, you know? So it's not just this one time. It's not just like, oh, you do that one call and that's it, and now you feel good about yourself. No, it's about long-term allyship, which graduates to different terms, but just like long-term of doing your part in terms of ending oppression. So we're going to speak on that as well, or she's mainly going to speak on that, because again, it's really this thing that I'm part of later is really to show people that are not Black on how to do your work, and for you to actually do your work, and then after that, you know, do the work. So, but yeah, that's what it's going to be. Mm-hmm. You're on mute.
Thank you. And I want to encourage everybody, however you got awareness of, you know, of being brought here, that please check into the work that all of us are doing, the panelists and presenters, because again, creating equity is really about, has to do with a lot of things, resources. And I know there's more that's, like I said, more to be done and more to happen. So follow Macca, Machine, Box One, myself, get in tune with us, and we want to continue to build and just keep doing the things we can, and we have the power to make change. I also I don't want it to seem like, you know, I mentioned the white savior thing. I don't want it to seem like we're at a deficit and we don't have enough. It's just about structural shifts and changes. And that means that we know structures are controlled and ran by people. So that is at the core of what has to change too, the mentalities and how we are seeing things, our perspectives on how we're viewing things. The so-called notion of white supremacy has done an injustice to all of us. An injustice to all of us. It's not just us. And I think that, it's, like I can say, it's just work to dismantle that. So I'm going to say the majority, because I don't even like using that term minority. You know, that's also one that's kind of been encoded, but this is something that's important to me. And I think that also it's important for us to see the future, not to be just on the short term reactionary, this long thing, but can you share to my panelists, can you share a vision of what Black joy and Black excellence looks like in not only hip hop culture, but in society?
I'll start it off because my answer will be short and sweet. Spoke about this earlier. I think Black joy just looks like equality. You know, when we have the chance to stand on even platforms and, you know, be recognized for our creations and our contributions, you know, without having the narrative be twisted. You get what I'm saying? Like, we've contributed a lot to the planet. You know what I mean? If you want to look at it just from a hip hop standpoint, like, there are so many different industries that came from hip hop, which was a gift from Black culture to the world, you know, and we welcomed everybody. It's not to segregate anybody. Like, you know, we created this thing and we saw others enjoy this, and we said, yo, come on in, you know. So we were just like, you know, and it's sad to say, but like, we just want our just due, you know. We just want to be equals. We want to be represented. We want fair treatment. You know, we want the right to live. We want the right to, you know, express joy, express pain, and be heard. You know what I mean? Just be treated as equals and be treated with respect, man. And that's it.
Word. Thank you, Box. One.
For Box One. For me, Black joy, honestly, I'll probably say Black joy would look like Black Wall Street for me, to be honest. And if anybody knows about Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, but
Original Wall Street.
Yeah, you know, original Wall Street. Original Wall Street, but you know, but absolutely equality. Man, like, just us, Black joy to me will just look like all of us just like loving ourselves, man, upholding ourselves high, and just respecting ourselves, respecting each other, and just, man, just being able to really live our best lives, yo. Like, just not have to, because I mean, you know, once we deal with, you know, like the systemic racism, you know, then we have to deal with, you know, the hate within ourselves and the hate within each other, you know, as Black people, and just it's so many layers that we have to deal with, you know, because of all this stuff that has been put on us, you know. So I just feel like once we deal with all of that and we just get back to the root of really respecting ourselves and respecting each other and just loving each other, that's when I really feel like that Black joy will come about. You know, we can really pass that on to, you know, to the future generations of, you know, of us, and just really, yeah, just really be able to live in that truth of who we are as a people. So yeah, that's what it is for me.
That was beautiful. Straight up. I mean, I think we all want the same thing, just first and foremost, you know, from Macca and from Box. I mean, it's on just so many levels, you know, of equality that I think of my grandmother, which has passed away and everything. My uncle, you know, that helped build cars for GM back in the Midwest. And I want them to, now that they're gone, I want them to just see us do a lot better, like Macca said. I would like to see in this thing more powerful Black voices like King, like Malcolm, that's standing there, that's fighting for us, which we don't have no more. Or every time when it's built or one is coming our way, they're killed. You know, to me, Black excellency just looks, everybody's starting to understand us. Understanding that it's not a cloth, not going outside and have to wear masks every single time. People think they're wearing a mask now. Imagine wearing a mask all your life. Straight up.
Yeah.
I've been in places where I can't be myself, or around people that I can't be myself. I want to just be myself, just like everybody else. I want to just be myself at the end of the day and be able to educate my child and be able to see her live a life of things that I don't have to live no more. I want to see chains, you know, what we call in our Black community, some chains being broken, some traditions that we always have to go through, or we've constantly had to go through. I want to see some chains get broken from that. If we have enough, if we've done this much of breaking the chains, we can continue to keep doing this. But it's not just going to be in our community now. It's not just us. It's happening to our friends are standing around watching us. Our peers are standing around watching us. We need you to get involved. One of the biggest things, you know, I would say this, you know, before we end, one of the things I like about living over in Europe, when they protest, it's not just them. You know, it's a petition, like Macca was saying, it's a petition that gets sent around to everybody. If you have something to complain about in the street that is not being done, guess what? Come walk with us today. Come walk with us. Come protest. When this world can wake up and see that everybody, we're all hurting here. We're hurting. We're all, it's not just you. It's not just your community. It's not this that happens to or anything. It's time to stand up and walk in the right direction for us. Walk towards City Hall. Walk towards the judges system. Walk downtown. Walk down there. Protest down there where this black and white line is keep just getting dropped all the time. I love all y'all, man. Straight up. I love my community. I love my breaking community. I've never seen so many races in my life. So I know it ain't the people that's on this line that's doing it and the people that I keep walking into. And I just thank God that, I haven't been put in a situation like Trayvon, George. God has got me to dodge that because he know he got another calling for me. I'm just trying to reach my calling, just like everybody else. That's it.
Beautiful, brother. Box.
Man, I spoke first, but I'll speak again, whatever. I guess my example of Black excellence would just be like, you know, the people that's that's a part of this panel right now, you know. And this is like, it's special for me because I am the youngest person on this panel, you feel me? So I'm always the one that's looking to listen, you know, like, that's why I have no problem passing my turn. I have no problem being silent, you know. I listen to Macca. Me and Macca have a really close relationship, you know. Me and Machine just linked up and we hit it off immediately. We understood, you know. So, you know, Black excellence are people like that, people who are going to share their truth and continuously hold you to a standard to pass on that truth and to live that truth, you know. Macca calls me out on any and everything whenever I'm in the wrong. You get what I'm saying? And she makes sure that I'm pushing forward because she makes sure I'm aware, yo, people are looking at you, you know, you're a face, you know what I mean? Like, you represent something. You have to be better than what you are. Every day you have to get better. You get what I mean? So to me, that's Black excellence, man. You know, again, like Machine said, like, we're in this community, like, and this is my community as well. This is the community that I found comfort in, that I built my life around this community, you know. So we need more figures in our community to represent Black excellence. We don't have to look towards the rappers or things like that. You know, they don't directly affect us. These are everyday people that I see, that I speak to. They do what I do. You know, they understand me on multiple levels. So, you know, if they can do that for me, like, I have to do that for the next person, and then, you know, so on and so forth. And that's it.
Word, thank you all. And if I can just add, I think that a lot of that, you know, Black excellence for me really was about really knowledge of self, learning who I was. That shaped a lot of the decisions I made when everything around me was telling me I wasn't nothing, I wasn't good enough. Not just telling me that, but I was feeling it in ways that I couldn't even describe. I didn't have the words to describe. In the educational system, I didn't have the words to describe it. You know what I mean? And of, you know, just seeing that light and really loving what we do, loving who we are, and other people loving us in that high degree. And part of also that knowledge of self, you know, there's stuff that I feel like our contributions to society we still work to uncover and show the rest of the world. But, you know, I'm just going to say that there are resources that are out there if you truly want to dig. And I encourage people to celebrate and uplift all the achievements, our basis of science and math, you know what I'm saying, et cetera. So I'm going to also do like box one. I'm going to drop a link in the chat of something. I'm sure everybody's got Amazon Prime because you probably got some kind of service that's delivering to you. There's a documentary that came out about 4 years ago that's on there. And to me, I was surprised to see it on there. This is stuff I used to get from the brothers selling these knowledge DVDs and stuff on the street. And it's called Out of Darkness. And I'm going to put a link there. It's long. You might have to break it up into pieces. It's like going to be like the pill to the matrix. You're going to probably shake your head at some things, but I got to do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be celebrating Black excellence. So I'll drop that in the chat. Before we get off, I do want to also ask this last question, and this goes specifically to, you know, I was a youngin' coming up, seeing my brother and his rap group and his dance crew and other people I was looking up to. And you know, when you have an older brother, they kind of son you a lot and mess with you and like you got to earn your stripes to hang. But for younger, I mean, you know what? No, not just the younger. Would love for you all to share some words of advice or encouragement. So what words of advice words of advice or encouragement do you have for Black men, women, boys, and girls in this moment?
Let Macca go first because she always got something to say.
No, I'm laughing at Bravemonk because he got real black real quick. Kermit. He couldn't say encouragement. Anyway.
Kermit.
So, Kermit, you got. But sorry, yeah, that was funny. But no, y'all, to be honest, man, shoot, I'm inspired by these young Black brothers and sisters, yo. Like I'm encouraged by them, you know. Like I feel like this next generation, I mean, just with the tools that they have, you know, and that we have now too, but you know, I'm older per se, compared to that. But the tools that, you know, that they starting out with, you know, in terms of the internet and just all that stuff. So I feel like, you know, man, so many of them are just using it wise, you know, using it wise and getting educated and reaching out and starting their movements and, you know, so I mean, my encouragement is really, really that keep on, yo, like seriously, keep on. Like even just looking at the chat right now, and I don't know if, you know, if any of these people that have spoken here are younger, or, I mean, I know some of them are older, but I feel like, you know, people, the young generation is aware, you know, is, I mean, as you know, as played out that woke, you know, word is or whatever, but I mean, that's the younger generation are the ones that, you know, brought that word to attention again, you know, even though it's an older word, you know, and people on older generation used that word before, but they've made it popular again because of the awareness that's out there, you know, and that they're bringing forth. So, I mean, I always say, especially for young Black girls, you know, it's, I mean, even though more of you are now, I feel like, in embracing your Black beauty as a Black girl and a Black woman, but, you know, just stay strong within it, because there will be so much, you know, outside force to bring that down, you know, and to bring you down and to make you feel not worthy, to make you feel like, you know, you're not as beautiful, you're not as smart, you're not as, you know, as wanted, you're not, like, all of those things, you know. So stay strong in that, and believe in yourself, and find, you know, find those older people, you know, within your community that can help you understand who you are and help you understand what we've been through, and the lineage that we come from, and our heritage and history, and all of that stuff, because it's all part of who we are. So so yeah, definitely look out for those people. And I mean, y'all, you know, like I always say, like you said as well, you know, self-knowledge is such a key to understanding and loving yourself and who you are, and your people as well. So I definitely just want to continue. I would definitely just continue to encourage that as well. So
Thank you.
You want me to go next? Bray?
Let's save you for last, Machine.
Go ahead, Box.
All right. I got it then. I would especially, whenever I meet a kid, you know, a young Black kid, the things I tell them are like, you know, like, you are loved, you are valued, you are special, you know, because I understand that they don't hear these things a lot. You know, there's always a negative narrative pushed onto them. So, you know, I want them to understand that, like, yo, like, you are valued, you are special. You know, you're not what they say you are. You determine who you are. You get what I'm saying? You determine your own value. I also let them know that, like, the pain that you feel isn't an individual thing. You know, all of the people that look like you, we've all felt it. You know, not all of us have overcome it, but we've all felt it. You know what I'm saying? But even if there is just that few group of people that overcame, they did it, so you can do it too. You know, I'm not really somebody that, like, I give advice, but I'm more the type to walk with you. You know what I mean? Like, I build that connection and I maintain that connection. You know, I'm checking up on you. You know, again, something I learned from the people in this room. Yeah, keep going, educate yourself. You know, nobody's gonna give you the key to the locked door. You know, that just doesn't make sense. If they lock the door, why would they give you the key? You feel me? So it's got to be up to you, and, you know, you got to want it. You know, that same anger that you feel, that you turn, you know, whatever direction you turn it in, like, turn that into focus and into drive. You know, let that drive you to achieve something, to achieve whatever goal it is. It doesn't have to be within dance, you know. And I also let them know that like dancers and everything, you know, we all have a myriad of skills. You understand what I'm saying? You know, just in the dance community, we're taught that like we're supposed to focus on dance because we're dancers. It's like, no, like you have any dream, you have any talent, any passion, pursue it, and don't let anybody tell you anything different, you know. Because the moment you let them in, that's when you just turn off of the path, you know. That's pretty much it.
100. So I'm gonna say 100.
You done got him started, Macca. Look at
All
you.
right.
You want me to go? Right.
Yep.
My advice, I would say to my brothers, my sisters, first of all, you beautiful. Never forget it. You are beautiful. You are smart. You are terrific. You are talented. You are powerful. Your skin represents something that is so golden and so lively that people get excited as soon as you walk in the room. Never forget that about yourself. You are more than just turmoil. You are more than just agony. You're more than just a stereotype. You're more than that. And you're gonna have to keep breaking down those walls. Even after I'm gone. I'm gonna break down some of them for you. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna knock down some of those bricks for you. I'm gonna help you. But I help you. We're gonna keep building. We ain't not going nowhere. We're not going nowhere. We're gonna keep educating. We're gonna keep awareness. We're gonna stay powerful. Because we got people like this in this room. That's my advice. Love yourself. Love yourself. You can project that.
I'm just gonna let that sit for a minute because I think that just needs to sit and breathe. And I also, while we're in this same sitting, I want us to all just really be able to take a moment of breath and breathing and inward reflection of we're Black folks, we're us, the human race, where we're moving towards what we are working to dismantle, to equalize, to normalize, to uplift. Black folks, and yeah, all the people who have been lost in the struggle from.
They've contributed. Nas said this. We're gonna lose a few, but we're gonna get here. Straight up. We're gonna lose a few in this war, but we're gonna stand. We're gonna win. Period. What's in the dark must get seen to the light. I love y'all.
Love you too. All right, this is what I want to do. We're gonna have everyone just, I think, man, we had over 100 people come in and out. I know we were capped at 100. And I want to applaud you all for staying and just really allowing our voices to be heard, allowing each and every one of these individuals to be heard. These are representations from the community. A lot of them have been putting in the work, doing it, living it. And yeah, please connect with each and every one. I also want to give a big thanks to Focus for allowing us to use his platform that he has worked so hard to build up and to be a resource as best as he can in the breaking community. So Yeah, let's unmute and celebrate our panelists. All of them. Box One, Machine. Y'all can unmute it. Y'all can clap your hands. You can do it one word.
Love y'all. Thank you. Thank you.
You guys, thank you. Much love.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Y'all can all drop a word. You can say email Black Noise South Africa. I want to shout you out because that was one of the elders in here. We also give it up to the elders too, you know.
Good to be here. Thank you, Brave. Thank you, Focus.
Thank
you, Macca. Thank you, Box.
Amazing.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank all y'all, man, for real.
Thank you, Cross, for
Thank you
coming
for everybody
in,
that
man.
tuned in
Some of
and
the people
rocked
I
out.
saw. Thank you so much, man.
We love y'all. Let's keep up this good fight, y'all. More resources and
Thank
things.
you. Why not?
Yeah, big ups. Why not? I know Focus has a lot of resources posted on his website. Stay connected, y'all. Stay in tune. We really got to, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep this movement going. And Focus, I would love, there's so much stuff that was said in the chat. I didn't even have time to. I know a lot of y'all might have had questions. Get at us. We know it will continue. So yeah, that's it. I'm Focus. If you have any words you want to say, respectively, this is your platform. I want you to go ahead and.
Yes, first of all, thank you so much for everybody who came over here. We were capped at 100. Didn't expect the 100 to fill up, but I think a lot of people didn't get an access to this. So this is recorded, and we're gonna send it to anybody who signed up. Hopefully, share it with the other platforms as well, so as many as possible get to see it. I want to say thank you for the Dojo team, Eric and Charles, for contributing the whole thing, and let's take action. Hopefully, this is a beginning of something.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Word up.
All right, shout out.
Thank you so much for everyone.